says delay. I don't know, a 20-second delay or something. I know it always a delay on my end, but it'll go through. Oh boy, I'm doing it from a different room, doing it upstairs. Um, Instead of down, usually I have it downstairs, but I got it set up upstairs. Yeah, you see it on there. All right, so I just got to transition. All right, so I transitioned it. All right, so let me show you what I got here real quick. So this is what I'm gonna be touching on. This thing here. I'm gonna transition this map. How does the map show on your end? It shows pretty big. Okay, all right. So you see the map. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna be going off of this map, and I'm gonna switch over to a couple more maps. I had thought about this too, officer. I was thinking of adding some more stuff, but I don't feel like doing that shit. I had some definitions. I'm just gonna just read the definition off my damn phone. Shit, I said too much. Okay, got you. So let me go back to the scene. All right, let me transition. I'm gonna transition it back, but it sound good. It look good. The color and everything. Yeah, I can see. I can hear the delay. But I know it's always a delay like that. Yeah, but as long as it's not like I'm like going behind, faded behind. So yeah, so I got my things. All praises. Yeah, I know you was telling me about that mic. See, where you get that mic from? Yeah, it's a Lang. Yeah, all I know is a Lang Star. The map is it's a Lang Star. Do you know what a Lang Star or mic is? I'm gonna take a picture of it. Cause you gonna yeah yeah I'm gonna send you a picture. This is the thing on the bottom. I'm just waiting on the picture to go through. I took a picture of that. Let's show you what it looked like. And so that way you will. I'm just trying to see if it's any. This is the. Let me take the thing off. I got a mic thing on. I'm gonna put the mic on there. So I got the little sponge thing that goes over. You know what all that shit called. But I'm a text it to you. Or do you want me to text it to you or send it to you on Telegram? All right. I'll just do that. Hold on 1 second. So that way it don't get mixed up. All right. So I just sent that to you. The what it is. I guess you could probably look it up. Yeah. Matter of fact, because you can it's got the model and all that shit. What I sent you on the bottom. Yeah. So that's what I use. That's the mic I use. I know you would tell me like, and I'm not even that close to it. Yeah. Yes, USB. Yeah. 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 I don't know where the hell she got it from. Hey, babe, where you get that mic from? I know I heard her a moment ago. She was trying to do something with the laundry. She probably ain't heard me. I don't know if she got it from Walmart. If she tell me where, I mean, well, I guess you got the information. You'll probably know where to look it up at. I thought she got it from, yeah. She might have got it from Walmart or could have got that bitch from, when that time we was at Best Buy. I was at Best Buy. You helped me get get that, the other one from my other computer. My, damn, what you call it? My internet, USB internet. Yeah. It worked good. Yeah, that thing worked good, man, for that old computer I have. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it works good. I said, shit, for that price, you was like, man, go with that right there. And I went with that. It worked pretty damn good. I've used it. Yeah. Yeah, it was some high shit. And I said, I don't need that. Then when I got home, the old one started working right. I said, man, what the hell? Then then it started. Yeah, then it started fucking up again. I remember I had that new one in the box. I just pull it out of the box and use it because it's real small. And yeah, I use because I got that one. I got this computer here. I use this one when I do my classes and stuff like that, or for sometimes I do homework. But sometimes I have to use the old one too. I can still pull up to do my homework for class and shit. Yeah, matter of fact, that's what I got to do tomorrow. Tomorrow Tuesday. So tomorrow I got some quizzes I got to do. I got to make up. I ain't gonna say make up. There's no like deadline to it. If I'm behind, I got like 3 or 4 quizzes I got to do to be caught up with one of my classes. I just got back from out of town with my class this past Sabbath. Had to go to Winston Salem. This is for the wine class. You know, so I go to Winston Salem for it was like a North Carolina's Wine Growers Association event. So I mean, pretty much you might as well say like like when we have the men conference. So they had some shit for the wine growers, and it was pretty interesting, man. I was like, damn. And then like it's like there's an event that go on like constantly. Like they had some shit for behavior kids. It was going on at the same time as the event we was at. I think theirs started a few days before, but it was another wine, international wine one. You know what I'm saying? I guess they had people overseas and stuff. We didn't get to go to that one, but because we kind of came a little late. But we mainly supposed to go to the North Carolina one, and then but once we was leaving, then there was another group, the Kappas. You know, like the fraternity Kappas. They had an event for the young men, like you know how we do the YMOV, but they had a conference. And they had bus loads of them coming in, and they stayed at the hotel, and they were having, you know, their little conference for those young men, you know, as mentors and stuff like that. I was like, damn, you know, I said they looked good too, you know. I mean, they was, you know, they had nice clothes on. Of course, they had no fringes and shit on, but they wasn't sagging. The clothes looked good. They had, you know, the ones that had braids and shit in their hair was braided up nice and neat. And they look good that even the Edomites that I was with, you know what I'm saying, like my teacher and all them, they were speaking highly. They said those young men look handsome, very nice, you know, how they carried themselves, you know. So I was looking at that. I like, maybe the Lord want me to see that. And one day if I get an opportunity, I'm going to bring it up, what I saw, you know, at that event. And say, I saw this as I was leaving at the hotel. There was another event for the young men. I know we haven't went that far yet as far as having a young men's conference for the YMOV. I think that'd be good, man. I say, hey, we have that for the young men, and to show some order and structure, to see how the young men are dressed, how they conduct themselves, and they got it, you know, and how they had it set up. I saw there was always an adult with wherever you saw the young men at, there was always some adults amongst them. So that way they were not, you know, I can't say, you know, if anything crazy might have happened, but, you know, there was always a chaperone around. So they couldn't be out there acting crazy and shit like that. So I didn't ever see them act stupid or nothing. So, I mean, you know, it made sense. I was like, damn, that's something we could do. You know, I know we're getting there. We ain't got there yet, but I believe we can make that thing happen. Just, you know, hey, the parents just have to pay for certain things, or we could do it small. Start off in, you know, in your own region or in your own state, doing there. But it's good from what I saw. It was good because the kids get to meet and associate with other children from other locations, and they can talk. You know, they can start early by making connections, you know, at an early age. So let's say, you know, just for example, let's say the young man get to they get of age, like, you know, because some of them are gonna go to college, you know what I'm saying. A lot of them are going to go to Esau's college and get themselves educated and stuff like that. So this is a way for them to, hey, this brother went through this program. I watch a movie about a mentor or something like that. And I watched a movie. I think it's on Netflix or Prime, but I actually seen this in person. So that made me look at it. I'm like, damn, I remember looking at something like this in a movie, you know. And it's beneficial because a lot of those young men don't have no father figures. But they got But some of the men that I heard talking and shit, that was that they had some of them sound effeminate. You know what I'm saying? I was like, some of them sound effeminate. And a motherfucker, just I'm talking about the mentor, the adults, But then you got some that was masculine. But I mean, but the mindset was and goal to build up the young black men. You know what I'm saying? Make them become something. Make them think outside the box. Everything about being a rapper or a drug dealer, dope man. Get them out of that environment. You know, yeah, spirit. In a worldly aspect, but to build them up. But we got God's law, statutes, and commandments, and with them, with building them up, with like that, we gotta have, like I said, I don't know what the topics were they touched on, but I know like the bishop and them will come up with something, or the leaders, the captains, and them, they'll come with deacons, they'll have something, some seminar there to build those young men up, and so they can see what's going on, what's happening, what they need to do, and I think it'll be beautiful, because like at those events too, they have food and shit too, they have people that cater, and yeah, oh yeah, most definitely, because people gonna have questions like, hey, what is this, why, and then whenever they see a bunch of us, and they want to know, and then that information. You have a card. We have a business card. Card to pass out, and shit. Because the young black. I'm saying not young black. Other black people will want to have their children in that. Like, hey, you know what? I'd like to put my son in something like to teach him discipline, teach him, respect, how to respect his elders. So I like I said, those would be like main topics. I was thinking like shit. They can learn to respect the elders. They can learn to how to be amongst people, how you conduct yourself, to show how the Bible explains that in Sirach 19:29 and 30. A man may be known by his looks, when that, all that type of stuff, but take it to like another level, and expound on that to the young men. These things they hear and their brains are like sponge, and they can absorb that and take it in, and be different, or be when they go out in public, or they do go amongst the indiscreet, hey, they can show the indiscreet, hey, we ain't gotta act like that. Hey, this is how you conduct yourself. Or when you talk, they be like that. This brother talk. This man talk with I'm gonna say it in Esau or the other nations. This Negro here, he knows something. This Negro is he's kind of educated. He's not dumb, and I like what he say. And what he say is true. And this is kind of, you think about it, this is what they said about our forefathers. Look at Abraham. Look at what Abraham. He was there amongst the Philistines and all them, and all them. What I'm saying, all those different nations, and they say he was a damn prince, a mighty prince among them. Jacob. Think about Joseph. And Joseph, he became how his countenance was when he was there. He everybody liked him. They say he was a goodly person. Potiphar's wife tried to set him up, so he got put into prison. You remember? But yeah, remember the prison, that ward was under Potiphar's house. So you remember those guards? They knew Joseph already. So Joseph was dealing with them. So they took care of Joseph. While Most High put it in the spirit for them to take care of him while he was there. So he had favor of the guard. They said because of the Lord. But all that, when you look at it, if you just read between the lines, if he was the head of the house, he was like the next man over everybody in the household. He dealt with everybody equally, treated everybody right, and then those people, the guards, they were dealing with him too. So, when he got put down in there, they took care of him. Even though nobody wants to be locked up or nothing, but I think about when he got out, when he conversed with Pharaoh. Pharaoh listened to him, shut the hell up, and listen to what he said. He said, "This man broke down my dreams to the damn T, and then gave me the understanding thereof." Shit, you can't. Ain't no magician could do that. And then think about Daniel. Daniel did the same thing. He was in a high position. And he told Nebuchadnezzar his dream. Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and then yeah. He said his God dwelling with but not with flesh. And with man, his God is up there in another dimension, in the third, in the second, third heavens. You know what I'm saying? So now, now you got to look at this too, because you remember it said when you read in Bell and the Dragon, it said the king conversed with Daniel. He like the Daniel. Yeah, he's become a Jew. Like, look at this right here. I'm gonna show you what it says. I ain't pull it in a minute. If you go to Bell and the Dragon, and it tells you in the first, it says, all right, and yeah, verse 2, it says, this Bell and the Dragon, verse 2 said, and Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. You hear that shit? So he was honored. What does that mean? He took what Daniel said to the T. He said, this man know what the fuck he's talking about. This who I'm dealing with. This man was knowledge. This man, he knew what he was saying. He wasn't no liar. There was no beguiling him. It was something special about this man. But I'm not, I like conversate with him because he always talked with wisdom. That's what it says. With Wisdom of Solomon, it tells you, it said, hey, this man talked with wisdom. And a lot of people would listen to what he said. They would shut up. Kings, noble people. Because he was like all our forefathers in them during this time, they were, what do you call it? They were counselors for those the leaders of the other nations, man. So you think about it, from Egypt ruled, we go to Assyrian, Babylon, what is it? Persian and Media, Greece, Rome. Even like today and shit. Think about some of the stuff. We can go back to, like, let's say that we go back to even during slavery, right? There was a lot of things we had to teach them. They had to learn stuff from Gad and they had to learn stuff from Judah. You know what I'm saying? Or no, I'm just saying North. I ain't gonna say Gad, but just Northern Kingdom, indigenous amongst all the countries where we were scattered at in North America, what we call it, today, and the Caribbean, North, South, Central, and the Caribbean islands. So then also, when Judah came over, Judah was showing them things too as well. We invented a lot of stuff. Cause we was out in the field. We were like, man, shit. We ain't trying to work hard. We gotta work smart. So we'll create things and make things to make it easier for us to work. What is it? Let's say for example, I just thought about it. It just dawned on me. Think, we got famous quotes from like our forefathers and what really in the truth, but they had a little understanding, but not quite there. So let's look at Martin Luther King. Some of the things he said, what he preached, what he spoke about. About when they was back dealing with civil rights and stuff. People, Esau listened to what he said. There are people. It's a lot of his quotes are still there. Think about what Malcolm X said. Yeah, they still what I'm saying. It's still shit. They're using them things today. Look at like the speeches he had. Look at Malcolm X. Same thing with him. The speeches that he had. But he was in Islam. But he still had. But he broke. He the one that really broke down a lot of stuff. From what he learned from our. From the elders and them that taught, like the bishop and them and shit. So he was bringing out stuff that they already knew. Most I gave them a little understanding in what they had at the time, but then you look at we got Marcus Garvey. We always read about we read about like you got Harriet Tubman, a female. What I'm saying? She was help freeing the slaves, and she had to do certain things to the ones that wanted to go back. She had to kill their ass because they're gonna betray her. So then you had. I'm trying to think of some more people. We had a lot of people, a lot of noble people, and those days and age, man, and they had knowledge, and the crazy thing what we got to look at too, me dad. If you watch some of those movies, right? Let's say, when our people were like the first lawyer, black lawyer, or like we read what's his name. What's his name? That was the Thurgood Marshall, right? We read about him. He won a lot of cases, man, that you wouldn't even think. We wasn't the one, you know what I'm saying? But he won them shits. I know it was one he wasn't able to be there, but just what he wrote, the shit that he wrote, it made that guy, it made one of us get freed. I said, damn, because he had to go handle a different matter. But I be watching those movies, man. There's a movie with him, A Thurgood Marshall, man. It was some good shit. But yeah, you had that, things like that he did. You had things in the military with those military movies. Think about I think I told you the Red Tails. You seen the one with the triple six or triple eight, something like that, about the female. Yeah, yeah, the one I told you something the Lord made. Yeah, did you watch it? Yeah. So all these things we played a major part in history, even like Hidden Figures, all that stuff. If it wasn't for us, Esau wouldn't have been. Remember he gave all the knowledge and all the way to Jacob, and if it weren't for us, he used the Most High used us in order to help build to make them a great nation, so he could tear their ass down, just like he did Egypt. Same thing. I'm gonna build this nation up, but I'm gonna use my people to do it, to help y'all, to build you up, and then I'm gonna tear this shit down in an hour. In 1 hour, I'm gonna tear all this shit down in 1 hour. So in 60 minutes, like what he said, like remember the show 60 Minutes? So I'm gonna tear this shit down in the fucking hour. So yeah, and and then you got what is it? Cause like I said, use them to show them. Hey, look, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you a little bit how to get to the moon, how you can circle the earth, how that shit go. To use those sisters. I'm gonna use this to show you this real quick, and this I'm gonna give you the science. I'm gonna get you the because everything has a science behind it. People don't understand. The creation is science. Uh, she go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Nah, because be calling me, man, like you're supposed to. But like, go ahead though. It's all good though. mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Remember it. Right. Yep. And make it complicated. It even proved the fact that God exists through your science. See, here's the thing. Like, what happened is, we don't. How can he say? We looking at it from a Christian mindset. Okay, God created man from. We just look at okay. He take man. He created him from the ground, from the earth, or whatever. And we just kind of look at it as we reading in the story. We're reading in like a book or a Bible story or whatever. Your mom is telling you it kind of orally from a child, or you may have Bible study, but it's still orally. But nobody ever give you the sense or break it down of how that shit happened. Now you hearing science. Science would throw a theory in there. Hey, we all come from monkeys, and this and that. But there's no way you can come from a monkey when you don't got the right. Science show you monkey has so many chromosomes. A human got this many chromosomes. If they had the same chromosomes, that's the only way they can mate. They don't try to make humans and monkeys together. It won't work because they're two different species, two different things, two different animal species. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Uh-uh. You got to think about it. You think about evolution, right? So they go by evolution, right? All right. Anything you see that evolutes, right? It goes to the last thing, right? Everything else dies out. So how the hell the monkey still living? And then where's the in between? Yeah, where's the in between before you get to man? Well, how the fuck they die out? That's not gonna happen. In evolution, the old thing would die out, and then, or like you said, it's going, or through evolution, everything would still be living, in its stages. So that couldn't have happened, and like how you see shit, what was there, how it's made, that shit was always there. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, now you might have some things that did die off. It got extinct because it maybe got hunted or some sickness came, and it died out. There was no more purpose for it. The Most High said, okay, mm-hmm. It didn't come back. Yeah. So like you said, now you got the fossils or the bones to show, okay, what this was. But now you got to go and look at old paintings, old hieroglyphs and shit like that, to show you what that was. You know what I'm saying? What it may have looked like. This is what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? That when you see those bones, or sightings of what other nations, what other nations or countries said they seen. Like they say, you go to Africa, they got Matembe. I forgot what they call it, but it's supposed to be like a brontosaurus or something. But they say he lives in the jungle somewhere, but they can't find it. It's hard to find that damn thing. But they describe it as a damn like a brontosaurus or some sort. Then they got Plassey. Plassey's supposed to be like a plesiosaurus. I mean, these different things. But the Bible speak about giant lizards. We can read about it, Bel and the dragon. That was some prehistoric animal that Daniel killed. Daniel knew what the hell that thing was. He said, "I can kill that thing. Let me take leave. I'll get this thing some pitch and some fat and put it in his damn mouth, and that motherfucker gonna blow up." You know what I'm saying? But he knew he understood what his body, what it was, what type of animal that was at that time. But it tells you Esau is wiser than Daniel. So whatever Daniel knew, remember it said Daniel knew science. Matter of fact, Daniel knew science. Him, the three older children, said those that knew science, understanding of the break it down in in Daniel chapter 1. So, and Daniel was young then, you know what I'm saying? But Daniel had wisdom, he had understanding, he had knowledge, and he had discernment and all that shit. Esau has those attributes, but even advanced than Daniel. So, so you got to look at that. Your slave master is set up a certain way. The Most High have it set up for that, for him to be like that in these last days, so he can, so he can tear that motherfucker down in 1 hour. I'm gonna wear his ass out in 60 minutes. So you got to think about it. He caught 60 minutes, right? So 1 minute, how many seconds is a minute? 60 seconds. All right. So you count 60 seconds, 60 times or 100 times, some shit like that. Yeah. Hey, he gonna tear that motherfucker down in an hour. It's an hour. So that's you watching two little shows. Yeah, you watch a little hour YouTube video. That's it. That motherfucker destroyed. So that's gonna be fast. An hour go by quick. If we don't really think about it, that shit will go by fast in the month. Before you know, you be like, God. So you talking about from so like from where you live at going to the new school, the whole earth is done. So yeah, so people got to look at that. That's a measurement of time. Most I give you a science. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna destroy him in this measure of time in an hour. If you get an hourglass, set that shit there. When that sand get the last grain of sand drop, that fucking shit done. Or when that hour hand in an hour, bruh, be destroyed in an hour. So, And that if he telling you that, you gotta think about, man, that shit gonna be like crazy. You know what we will see. You can't even imagine what we gonna. You gotta think about it. You gonna see spaceships and all that, angelic ships. And he gonna destroy all this shit. And he gonna just reveal everything. He gonna blow our mind. We like, what the fuck? Oh shit! Yeah, we ain't got in 1 hour. And uh, mm, mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a little time to take in the ride. You think about it, but you can't comprehend. You can't comprehend that in the hour. Like think about it. We watch a class in an hour. Let's say we was. Let's say you know think about it. You know how y'all when the videos you doing a class, right? So if you got a class that's been taught for 30 minutes to an hour, or somebody doing a street teaching. You know, a normal person can teach for about 30 minutes to an hour, right? But you got to do edits and shits like that, and then make chop it down. So in that teaching, it's a lot to take in during that teaching. So think about it. You got to think about it, a whole hour. This ain't just the United States. You talking about a fucking whole hour, the whole world, the whole world, and there's different time zones. You got remember you got a time zone. You got look from when I was in Qatar. No, not no, yeah. When I was in the military, and you in Iraq or Qatar, you like 7 hours. It's a 7 hour difference. You know, when you talk to somebody, you got a call. There's a seven. I think it's seven. No, it's an 8 hour difference. I think it might be 8 hours and it's 6 hours or something like that from Europe. So when I went to what's that motherfucking place I just went to? Guam. When I went to Guam, so they're on Chamorro time. That's what they call it. That's the indigenous name of the indigenous tribe in Guam. In Guam is called they call Chamorro. So, but you on Chamorro time? Chamorro time, I think it's like 14 hours ahead. You 14 hours ahead, bro. Yeah. So, but in order for you to fly over that motherfucker, it take a long time, officer. So you in the air, like for one, we flew from Raleigh to Houston, Texas. It's an hour, and that's 2 hour flight. So you got 2 hour flight to get there. Then from Houston to Honolulu, Hawaii, you're flying 8-9 hours. They got another 8-9 hours from Honolulu, Hawaii, to go to Guam, to the other side of the hemisphere. You over there close by Australia, New Zealand, and all that shit. You know what they call it, the place down under and shit. So you got to think about what There's military bases all out there. There's all that because Guam is considered U.S. territory. So you got Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, all that shit, and it's like right in the middle of the ocean there. You know what I'm saying? But you got the Philippines and all that shit is nearby and stuff. I think you can take a ferry. You got all these different other islands and shit. I forgot what the fuck they call them, the Pacific Islanders and stuff. And there's a lot of history because our people was over there and they went into slavery too. Shit, some of them was us. And they had, they were bringing people from, because they were conquered by the Spaniards. So the Spaniards went all to them damn place, those islands and shit, were picking up, dropping off slaves, all that shit. They had plantations, you name it, man. So that's why the Moses said, I'm scared of you amongst all people. And he had his way of doing it. Well, you going to go by boats, ships under that motherfucker. You got to think about it. You in them damn boats, man, and that shit rocking, you throwing up. We can't even imagine, we can't fathom that thing, man. You know how fucking that shit would be. You moving around and you in a vessel, you sick. Think about it, you chained up and that motherfucking shit sunk. That happened a lot. That whole fucking shipwreck and all the slaves in that ship died. That's why he said the dead gonna come up from the sea. Motherfuckers, a lot of people died in those seas. Think about the sharks. They changed their migration, how they maneuvered to where they knew the bodies would get thrown off. They were food, right? That's meat. So not only sharks. You had whatever meat eating creatures were there. They ate shit. They were eating good. So you know, so that's why the sea got to give up the dead. People don't think about that. So yeah. um, hmm um, but yeah, but like you said, back to the science though. Everything is because everything is science. You know what I'm saying? Well, how the Most High created that, He manipulated the elements. In order for you to manipulate an element, that's science. And you got to put this part. You got to have measurement. That shit got to be measured and created right. Then not only that, his science is spiritual because it got a damn spirit in it. He commanded it to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit we don't understand. How did He make it do that? The science. Like, hey, I command this. You stars to shine. Sun, you stay there. And you do this and you shine. Boom. And they speak to him. You remember they said, "Here we be," and when you read it about it in Psalms, no, not Psalms, Sirach, I think, 43, or no, Baruch. When you start reading in Baruch, it'll tell you that they speak to him. He tell it this, he do this, and they say, "Here we be." Yeah, they follow His order. And then it tell you that angels do not transgress. Because those are spirits, those are angels, those are celestial beings. So they don't whatchamacallit, they ain't gonna transgress what He say. What He say, I need this to happen, that's gonna happen. That's a commandment. Go, and they say they will not transgress it, or whether they're evil or good, they're gonna do what they were told to do and make it happen and stand ready when need is. You remember it says that. So yeah, that's heavy, man. People don't look at that. Now let me stop this streaming and shit. Damn, over here talking. I could have did a class. That was yeah. Damn.